Okay, at the end of the part 2 video just now, we are talking about the gap, means the gap between GAS and IAS. Okay, so since there are gap between these two, between the GAS and IAS, so the international bodies think that there need for the international harmonization of auditing standard. International harmonization of auditing standard is important. Why we said it's important? In view of the drive forward international convergence of financial reporting standard. Okay? So, in the international capital market, harmonization of auditing standard would ensure that the audit process has been consistent across companies, and in particularly that one set of high quality standard which we said it can be applied in auditing both the parents and its subsidiary. So just imagine the parents is in US and the subsidiary is in Germany. So if there are huge gap between both standards that apply in the parents and in the subsidiary, it becomes one of the obstacles. Okay, so the effort of harmonization of auditing standard actually would enhance the credibility of the information in corporate financial report and lead to a more efficient and effective allocation of resources in international market. Okay? And in addition, harmonization of auditing standard would enhance audit firm to increase their efficiency and effectiveness of the audit process globally. Okay, but same case with same scenario with the harmonization of financial reporting standard, the effort to harmonize auditing standard internationally actually have met with limited success. So this is among the effort that been done by the international bodies to harmonize the auditing standard. For example, IFAC, okay. IFAC through IASB actually responsible for establishing the international auditing standard. And to be IFAC member, the professional board accountancy bodies apply to support work of IFAC, inform members of every pronouncement of IFAC, and work toward implementing of IFAC pronouncement in local circumstances, and also incorporate the ISAS into national auditing pronouncement. So what happened is IASB developed ISAS and International Auditing Practice Statement, IAPS. So ISA 13, which is published in 1983, is an effort to harmonize the audit report. In terms of the EU, this is the EU report. They also published 4th directive, which is audit report must include whether financial statement present true and fair view, and in the 8th directive, harmonize educational and training prerequisite necessary to become statutory auditor. Yeah. And among the international cooperation, the PCAOB and Australian Securities and Investment Commission enhance their cooperation. So PCAOB rules 4012, which inspection of foreign registered public accounting firm, lists down 5 criteria. 1 is adequacy and integrity of oversight system. Number 2, independent operation of the oversight system. Number 3, independence of the system source of financing. Number 3, transparency of system. And number 4, system historical performance. Okay. Okay. We move to another issue, which is ethics and international external auditing. So globalization of cooperation and the accounting provision has raised some question actually, which is this question is fundamental importance. Among the question that we consider is important is, what does the new global provision stand for? Okay? And can the moral standing of the accounting profession be based on consensus of international morals and values? Further, accounting does not operate in a static environment. Okay? So, if we look, the business, the corporation is actually do not operate or do not run in a static environment. Our environment is very dynamic. So since the environment is dynamic and is undergoing change with community and business value, so the question is, what was local, okay, including business and professional fundamentals and community values, long time ago, is now become global. Okay? So the moral standing, but what happened is, the moral standing for the accounting profession is based on trust. It's only based on trust. Okay? Which is established by the ethical code of its member. We have ethical code of ethics. Okay? So if we are looking at the international level, the provision has been directed to ethics education by IFAC. Okay? IFAC provides ethics education, while PIOB oversees work of IFAC committees and consider and approve revised code of ethics for probation accountants issued by APB. Okay? So if we look, sometimes this one you already learned, okay, in the ethics. Okay? We said the ethical codes may also offer opportunity for creative accounting. Okay? So further, it's actually focused on individual benefit as result in corporate value. And the accounting provision as steward of a corporate value has been admonished in terms of public trust. Okay? So when ethical values are failing, people often return to government for help. Next topic is the audit committee. Okay, so what is the audit committee? In the US, audit committee is a committee of the board of directors responsible for financial reporting oversight. But lately, their increased attention has been paid to the existing and function of the audit committee. In the US, for example, the Blue Ribbon Committee made a series of recommendations to enhance the role of audit committees. Even if you look at Sarbanes-Oxley, it includes specific provision for the audit committee. Okay, so what is the audit committee? Audit committee should be independent board members, which is responsible for appointment, completion, and oversight of external auditing. In many countries, the audit committee is a must for listed company. It's a compulsory. And it's wide acceptance globally that the auditor work for the audit committee. Okay. Next, what is the internal auditing? Okay, so we have external auditing and we have the internal auditing. The internal auditing is an independent, objective assurance and consulting activity designed to add value and improve an organization operation. In US, SEC requires that every listed company to have the internal audit function. And one thing, the internal audit actually can enhance the effectiveness of internal control over the financial reporting. Okay, so there are clearest difference actually between external and internal auditing, okay, especially when you're talking about consulting function, okay, particularly in the risk management. Okay. So ISS 610 lists down that among the internal audit activities include review of accounting and internal control system, examination of financial and operating information, review of economy efficiency and effectiveness of operation, and review of compliance with law, regulation, and external requirements. So, given the complexity of the internal audit, given the complexity of MNC, they are increasing demanding for the risk management consulting. Okay, and internal auditor also commonly perform compliance audits and effectiveness and efficiency of audit. If we look on PCAOB, okay, so PCAOB auditing standard number 5, an audit of internal control over financial reporting, which is actually integrated with an audit of financial statement, require registered audit firm to use the new standard for all audits of internal control not later than for fiscal year ending November 15, 2007. And the new standard is actually reflects a principle-based approach and allows auditors to apply professional judgment in determining the extent to which they will use the work of others. So in global, actually there are competitive, in a global competitive environment, we said that internal auditing has become an integral part of managing MNC. MNC is multinational corporation. So there are competing demands on international audit function. And this internal audit function can be divided into two. One is the request by the management and another one is audit committee request. So management request on the IA function is one, we are looking at independent evaluation of control as a body of independent. Number 2, assistance in preparing report on controls. Number 3, evaluate of efficiency of process. Number 4, risk analysis. Number 5, risk assurance. And number 6, facilitation of risk and control assessment. And for audit committee, their request for IA function including assurance regarding control, including an independent assessment of the tone and the top, independent evaluation of accounting practices, risk analysis and fraud analysis and special investigation. Yeah. So since for MNC, we said just now there are high demand on the risk management. So the important task of monitoring risk is actually to develop a plan to systematically assess risk across multinational activity within the organization. Especially when we are talking about MNC, we are talking about the parents company, okay, which have subsidiary in others company. It may not have one subsidiary, but they have few subsidiary in few foreign companies. So for this kind of MNC, the monitoring risk is very important. So what MNC needs, then needs to assess existing risk of audited area and reporting that assessment to management or audit committee. Lead risk management activity when what has occurred within organization. Facilitate use of risk self-assessment technique. Evaluate risk associated with use of new technology. And the assessment management in implementation of risk model. Okay, so from video part 1 till this video, we already discussed actually we discuss various auditing issues that are important to MNC. Various auditing issue, GC issue that are important to MNC. So in this slide, we will discuss some thoughts on likely future development or future direction of audit. Okay, so we said for the future direction, we can set that or we can identify the future direction in few terms. One is based on because of consumer demands and increased competition in the audit market. So the big four firms continue high interest in audit market where there will be increased exposure of the international audit firm and tendency toward a checklist approach and the possibility that auditing may not be the external auditor exclusive domain. Okay. So what should you do? Okay, this has homework for you. Okay. So what should you do? You have to discuss the future direction, okay, based on these terms, okay, based on these few issues. Okay. Discuss in the group, okay, more further. Okay, the explanation or the explanation or the briefing on what should you do, I will include in your tutorial question slides. Okay, so that's all for this topic. Okay, so hopefully you already learned and achieved all the learning objectives that we set in the early chapter. Thank you.